All right, welcome. This is the regular once a week, usually on a Sunday. A to Z of stocks. I'm going to go through most of the key names I kind of personally track, and we'll stop and start and flash through some completely really quick, and we'll dwell on a few others. But let's start with Alcoa. So look, we're only halfway through the month. Alcoa's already up another 13% in the 60s. I told you back in December, once we clear the 47s. That'd be a very significant breakout. We saw the follow through in December, and we already printed the 66s this month. So there's been some cooling, but that's okay. It doesn't have to go up every single day, every week. There can be some intra-month cooling. Look at that there. You can see it in October. A little bit of a cooling from resistance threshold and then November breakout. But anyway, grander target is clearly the 94s, which we saw in March of 22. King of retail tech, Apple, down 6%. So December's candle, new historic high, but yeah, we're weakening. We are midterm bullish unless we go under the 10 MA, which is 238. So there's downside buffer. I mean, if the market wanted to cause maximum confusion, it'll test for 10 MA with earnings January 29th. But we could easily see this candle turn positive before the end of the month, in which case it would be a spiky candle, and then we can expect to see maybe 300 in February or March. Airbnb, hate it. That's all that needs to be said. Archer Aviation, I really like this one. This is a great for the long term air taxi company. So we're up 17.8%. This one is midterm broken though. We can see we're stuck under the 10 MA and resistance of 10. The cautious will not be in this right now, but they'll be looking to chase and jump aboard above 10, which does seem likely um, in February. American Eagle, yeah, it's just mostly consolidating. I mean, it's had a massively powerful run from the 9s to the 28. So it's basically, yeah, tripled up. It's tripled up since last summer, and it's just consolidating. It doesn't have to go up every damn month, right? So big target are it's technically not the 33s. Stock charts gets confused sometimes. Actually, severe high was 33.71. Okay. There are some quirks with stock charts. For instance, why does that high get quoted and not the high? It's like, why is that? What's up with that? I don't know. Buggy software, arguably. AMD, a big retrace. December was an attempt to bounce, and we're currently up 8%. Gotta like AMD. The only problem is, cyclically, it's on the crazy high side. Anybody buying at this point, this isn't such a great thing. The cautious will leave it alone. Amazon, king of retail, literally. Up 3.6%. Again, look at the 10 MA. Look at it. Good support. I imagine earnings will probably be out late end of month-ish. And gotta lean bullish. Kathy Wood's ARK. I mean, it's definitely midterm bullish. Not a fan though. Some of her picks have been pretty good lately. I do like her picks of JOBY and Archer Aviation. Boeing, this is a really good sign for the equity bulls, especially for the Dow. Up by 14%, 247s. Big target 267. If we clear 267, then we're gonna be we're gonna get a 300, 320. Which I mean, look, we've been 320 since I called a Head and Shoulders back in summer of 2019. And when I called, my target then was 160. Yeah, I was called absolutely crazy, and that played out rather well. In fact, my target of 160 was positively conservative considering the 89s were printed, although that was clearly also due to the COVID low. But yeah, this is a good sign for the bulls. Boeing is strong. The Barber multi-month structure is a bull flag. It's playing out. We're going up. We're going up whether you like it or not. Bank of America, new historic high, just cooling back. Earnings were good. The market typically sells earnings in the financials, just how it is. Nothing wrong with earnings. Annual growth was 11.9%. Generally good numbers. Caterpillar, look at this. This is just like Boeing. This is a very good sign for the bulls. We're up almost 13% on the month. New historic high 646. You've almost got to wonder if they want to do a reverse split. I mean, actually, no, not a reverse split, just a standard split. Like, what would they do? Maybe a 7-for-1, maybe. But that's a good sign. Ah, yes, Kamiko, new historic high. Look at that. Look at that. 27%. You got to be bullish uranium. Got to be bullish the miners. Kamiko is powering upwards. Carnivals, a little bit. In fact, it's pretty stuck, isn't it? Yeah, it's been stuck around here. The bulls need to see this break above 36, 37. Yeah, you see how this price threshold goes all the way back through that high there, there. Look at it. This is why these price thresholds matter. If we break above here, then we can start thinking about 66, maybe late this year or next year. But for now, it's stuck. Cleveland Cliffs. It's up 5.5%, but I struggle to take this seriously. I just I can't. I mean, wake me up if it's above 23, which of course is a long way up. I mean, I wouldn't be bearish. I mean, it's above a 10. I guess you can buy it with a stop at the 10 MA, right? It's floored there. This candle is technically a hammer candle, but there's better names out there. CNX, don't care. Deckers. So Deckers got hit this month by a couple of downgrades. It's currently down by 2.9%, but you can argue it's just there's a little bit of consolidation after 2 months of gains from 78 to 109. We have printed a higher high and a higher low this month, so that's bullish. I still think my target's on track. 125, secondary 150. The more cautious will favor Nike. We'll get onto that one later. Disney down 2%. A lot of chop. A real mess. Much like their woke content. Energy transfer. Yep. We're trying to have it. We have a short-term breakout. We're up 5%. You can even draw. I mean, I haven't put it on here, but you can draw a bullish pennant, and we're breaking up. Ford. It's up 3.5% on the month. I mean, high highs, high lows, right? Bullish. Freeport McMoran up 15% on the month. Near historic high because copper has been printing a near historic high in the sixes. You can start to think about whether if copper's sustainably above 7, which looks probable this summer, then Freeport might should get at least to 80, 85, maybe 100. But you know, oh, look, actually, when I think about it, it's already printed 60, so yeah, 80, 85 looks pretty easy. GE, another good sign for the industrial bulls up new historic high, right? But again, this is not General Electric anymore. This is a fragment of what General Electric used to do. So all of this price action is you can argue that the stock isn't none of any of this price action prior to like 24 doesn't really count because it's a different company. Remember, there's three GEs now. GE Vernova, Aerospace, and was it GE Healthcare? Yeah, I think that's Google, bullish, 5% up, new historic high. Well, what are you worried about? Goldman, earnings were mixed. It's actually up 9.5% on a month. Yeah, again, this one is a stock that looks like it should have a reverse, not, I keep saying reverse split, but it should be just a conventional stock split. Home Depot, again, this is another Dow component. Bullish engulfing candle, 10.5%. Soft target is 400 in early February when earnings are posted. That's a very good candle for the retail bulls. It gives you confidence also for sister stock Lowe's, ticker LOW. And you could even argue it bodes bullish for Target, um, and maybe the collective of retail. But that's a pretty strong candle. Intel. So, new cycle high. We've been challenging the high from what's that? January? Actually, December of 2023. I mean, there's a lot of talk out there of $60, and I'm like, yep, $60 looks like it's coming. Maybe by mid-year. JOBY. This is distinctly stronger than sister stock Archer Aviation. You can see that Teneme in this case is holding as support rather than resistance. So this is good. 16% on the month. The all-time high was $20. This is 40, $50 later this year. I like this one a lot. Air taxis are one of the niche sectors for the future. JP Morgan, new historic high, just a bit of cooling. KB Homes. You could argue that structure is a multi-month bull flag. In the Morgan, much like Energy Transfer, that's a hammer candle. We're up 1.7%. Looks like we're going to break up and away. Lithium Americas. It looks like I guess you can't. It's a messy bull flag if you want to call it that, but we're finding support, and we're up 36% on the month. My only concern is that this probably isn't going to be mining any lithium until at least early 2027. But I can understand some people buying from the fours and the fives on a multi-year outlook. Lockheed, arguably the best of the defense stocks. Look at this. What did I tell you? I told you about this. Look, cyclically low. Momentum was going to turn positive in January or Feb, and it's done it. Powering up. So we're going to get another 2, 3, 4 months up. 20% on a month. Look at that. We're clearly going to go above 600, right? Considering this, there's no way that we're not going to go above $600. So I would expect some upgrades, I guess, from the mainstream hacks. Maybe 650, 700. Cheniere Energy. Yeah, it's been cooling back, of course, with nat gas printing free, but it's an upper tier nat gas stock. LVS. Yeah, it's not pretty, down 9.5%. There is a lot of background chatter about casinos in Vegas being empty, and but is that such a bad thing? I mean, it is for Las Vegas, but I'm not gonna worry about those gambling maniacs. Meta. I mean, yeah, the background chatter is that, it's almost being acknowledged that metaverse is indeed a complete failure. Um, and the stock is midterm broken. You can see they tried to rally in December, failed, the sellers appeared, and we're down 6% ahead of earnings. You could argue this is going to come down and maybe to like 450. Yeah, 450 looks possible. I mean, you see, look, there's zero sign of a floor. There's the peak in momentum. We could easily get another 2 or 3 candles down. Meta broken. Mosaic, they actually had a mixed few days. Nat gas was coming down and they popped, but then they warned about fertilizer demand. It's not great. I mean, it's up 9% on the month, but I guess you could have a stop at 23. That would work. MP Materials, rare earths. Look at this. Look at this. We have a floor from Vataname, and we're powering back up, back above key price threshold. We're up. Look at this. 36% on the month. On the month, we could easily go into the 70s, right? By late January. And it's like, okay, look, when the big high is 100 to take out. Got to be bullish rare earths. Morgan Stanley, near historic high. Recent earnings were good. Microsoft, much like Meta, it's a giant tech. It's midterm broken, and yeah, the thing is, in fact, the setup for this one is actually more bearish than Meta because momentum has only just turned negative. We could easily tick down for another 2, 3 months, and that would get us to maybe. Of course, we have a gap. We have a gap around the gap fill would be to around what 400. So we could be down in Meta and Microsoft into February, and that doesn't mean the main market. Think about this: the S&P, in terms of price action, we're printing a historic high this past week. So the S&P is up here, Meta's down here, same for Microsoft, and just because this is down does not, and just because you can be bearish some of these big tech names, that doesn't mean the main market's going to be down, despite what some people believe. Micron, the lunacy continues, up 27% on the month, new historic high. It's just insane. But memory prices have been screaming upwards, and it is what it is. Netflix earnings are due on Tuesday. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I guess maybe, yeah, maybe Monday evening, perhaps. The stock is midterm bearish from the 134s. It's printed the 87s. And you think, I got to think, considering the break of trend, right? Here, back in, yeah, break of trend was in October, confirmed in November, completely confirmed in December, and we're just proceeding down. I think the 82s are going to be taken out. And what's the natural target? Of course, 70, which is the old high just from November 2021, when a lot of things maxed out. Look at that, actually. Look at that. 70 down to 16. That's incredible. That's that's wild. Look at that. So we're on track for 70. Now clearly that doesn't look likely in this month, but maybe in February. February would be a natural floor. Keep going before we get bogged down. Okay, like Nike, Nike's up 1% on the month. You can argue we are just consolidating floor before we break out. For a midterm bullish breakout, we need 70. I mean, that will offer, in my view, not really, I wouldn't really worry about that price threshold on a breakout. We should just go straight through it. So in theory, the next kind of price clustering area is around, in my view, 90. And you could even argue that, maybe 100. We could certainly see 100 by the late summer. And of course, Nvidia, a lot of hysteria wrapped up in this one. Just fractionally lower for the month. Still midterm bullish above a 10 MA. You know, the only thing is from a cyclical perspective, this isn't so good. At the current rate, momentum will not turn negative in February, but it will in March. So Nvidia threatens a problem in March. And if you extrapolate below Bollinger, I mean, May, June, I mean, how low could we go? 120, maybe? But at the moment, it's not a short until it breaks down. Occidental. Chop. That's all there is to say. Pfizer. I'm not a fan. This is a lot of broad chop. There's so many better healthcare companies out there than Pfizer. Palantir. I mean, you see that big bearish engulfing candle, which briefly played out in December with a bounce, but then you can see the sellers came in on that spike, down 3.8%. It's still midterm bullish as long as it holds above that, above the 10 MA, which is 160. So we have $10 of downside buffer. But if we do lose 160, then the next support is 125, right? So if 160 goes, there is $35 of downside to 125 minimum. And you could even maybe look at maybe 85 to 90. But for now, it is not midterm broken. Peloton, dead. PayPal, it's profitable, but the stock is dead. Transocean, I mean, look at this. There's nothing there. It's dead. Ah, yes. Rocket Lab, literally going to the proverbial moon. So look at it. Oh my God, 38% on a month. We've already printed 99.58 in the last, I think, on Friday. You got to think SpaceX IPO estimation date September. Could Rocket Lab be 200? I mean, look at it. Look at it. It was 37 there. 37 in November. 37. Amazing. Rumble. Nice company, nice website, but the stock is dead. Schwab. New historic high up 3.9%. I will say they have great customer service. Schlumberger. Faring way better than Occidental. So between Occidental and Schlumberger, Schlumberger is the one getting the upside kick. There is hope that Schlumberger will be involved in Venezuela rebuilding. But again, that could be many, many months, if not years, if not ever. SMR, my favorite nuclear company, up 42% on the month. So we floored in December from 13s, and now we're already printed the 22s. We've cooled back a touch to 20, right? There's a lot of price clustering around 20. Soft target is $30. I think we're going to be printing $30 by the end of February. I would like to get on board this in the stock. Target. Look at this. I've been telling you about this. 84s, marginal lower low, but we're breaking back up and away. We're above key price threshold. The 10 MA, 111s. My bigger target is 145. I mean, 145 by mid-year looks realistic. But yeah, about 13% on the month. Target is going up. Tesla. I mean, car sales are not great, right? You can see the sellers came in December on anticipated weak data, and the data was weak. We're down 2.7%. It's not a short, whilst it's above this. But tell me, cautious will leave alone. TSM, good earnings, of course, new historic high, 12%. I mean, they literally, as I say it here, they literally are the foundry. They make the wafers, and they sell to Apple, AMD, Qualcomm, almost everybody. Buys stuff from Taiwan, Semicon. Monstrously big company. Take two, down 6%. It's kind of a castle top where we're getting stuck. Yeah, this isn't pretty. This is not pretty at all. We're looking for momentum to turn negative. If it doesn't do it in February, it's probably going to do it in March. And I will say that I did check, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is not due until November 19th. They keep delaying it. They're like a year and a half behind schedule. If not even many more, even if not longer than that. But because it was supposed to come out, as far as I know, in May of 25, right? Yeah, May of 25, and they delayed it to November of 25, and then they delayed it to May of 26, and then November of 26. So, you know, yeah, this is not bullish. This is leaning a problem into March. Maybe one to watch because when the game does come out, it's going to be a hell of it's going to be an extraordinarily popular uh, game, and you got to think, where's it going to be? Could they wash it out somewhere down to maybe, I don't know. I mean, 200 doesn't look difficult. No, United Airlines, that is a new historic high. That's all we need to say about that. Uber. So it is midterm bullish. So midterm broken under the 10 MA. So they're trying to rally it, but you can see the sellers came in here. This isn't so great. Only bullish if it goes back above 88 bucks again. Uranium energy, yeah, much like Kamiko. Look at that. Look at that. 53%. You got to be bullish nuclear, got to be bullish for uranium miners. Not just on a multi-year, but like into the next decade. And look at this. This was $3 last spring. $3. That's 17. So you got to think, what, $40, $50 maybe by late summer, maybe. And United Health up 0.3%. You can argue it's just consolidating. It's above the 10 MA for the first time since December of 2024. I think would you another big push up to maybe 460, 470. That could clearly take at least until mid-year, late summer. But this low looks extremely secure, and this just looks like a bit of consolidation before we push upwards. Earnings are due January 27th, I believe. Warner Brothers don't really care because some looks like Netflix are going to be the winning bidder, but Wells Fargo, new historic high, but they did sell off on earnings. Earnings were okay. Exxon, impressive. New historic high up 7.9%. Yeah, look at that. Bullish. Also, yeah, I've been talking about this since last summer. Tick, 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 tick. Momentum turned positive in December. Momentum is increasingly net positive and could tick upwards all the way into and across the summer. This could easily be in fact my basic target is down like 150, 160 maybe. Chevron if I just type in Chevron actually, Chevron looks equally similar. Yeah, I mean it's new historic high, 9%. Of course, Chevron's a Dow component, and the cautious will always favor the Dow components. Okay, what do we want to end on? Almost want to end on the S&P. Yeah, let's end on this. So look, how many days left in the month do we have? I'm not even gonna bother counting. We have a couple of weeks, probably 9 days or so, right? Yeah, probably nine trading days, I'm guessing. So we're at 1.4% up on the month, 94 points. Upper Bollinger is offering, what is that? 7,089. So we can certainly be printing the 7100s in early mid Feb. And I think we're going to see 7K probably next week. But if we don't, then there's always the following week. Can't be bearish. Nope. I mean, let's look at this little. Of course, this is the Trump tariff hyper spike low. Are we going to get anything like that this year on some kind of geopolitical event? And that's impossible to know. But for now, we're broadly going up. We're still printing higher highs, higher lows. And you can argue, yeah, we're overbought. But look, we could see momentum actually, or we could see overbought conditions increase. We could be RSI 85, 90 by the late summer. It's possible. But again, the idea of being short this would be lunacy. Anyway, I'm babbling and I should round this up. But look, it should be quite clear from that little selection. Uh, we have a lot of stocks pushing for near strike highs. There are a few names that look somewhat bearish into February and March. Take Two, Meta, Microsoft. Tesla doesn't great, but you have other stocks, SMR, JOBY, Micron just powering up. Google just keeps on going. Yeah. I wish you a good Sunday and enjoy your Monday off.